your bass sucks. Now in this video, I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks about mixing your bass in Logic Pro. So let's get it on. Boom! 안녕하세요. What's good everyone, it's Vibe Synthetic, your wave music producer bringing you the best production tutorials, tips and tricks, and even music releases from my wave genre. And welcome back to my channel, because today we are going to talk about mixing your bass in Logic and how to get that perfect fit within the whole timeline of your Logic Pro or any other DAW with certain effects that I've applied to my bass. So this is my subjective, I would say very subjective tips and tricks which I've applied to my basses for many years. But if you guys really like this video, remember to smash the like button, also subscribe to my channel and hit that post notification bell button so that whenever I release new videos, you guys will get notified. Now let's not waste time and let's get down to the bass effects. First thing in the chain is basically Subtractive and Additive EQ. What you're gonna do in this stage is basically shape your bass so that you have a good start towards the whole effect change. Now there's Subtractive, which is taking away the bad frequencies, and this is the Additive where you're boosting the good frequencies. Let's have a look.
So in this tutorial, I'm just going to reference mixing the bass with your kicks, because that's actually where your low ends tend to clash. So let's head on with Subtractive EQ first. Basically, I'm just going to load up an EQ. Just a stock EQ plugin. As you can see, there's a lot of unwanted frequencies in the 20 and 30th kilohertz. I am just gonna snip that off. You don't want to kill too much of the low ends because this is a bass at the end of the day. Let's look what else we can subtract. Maybe you can bring down the 2 to 3K a little bit, just to make sure it doesn't clash with anything else in the mix. The next step is to do an additive EQ. So I am just going to load another EQ. And let's boost some frequencies that we like in this bass. You can bring in some of the 800 to 1K band up a little bit to get a bit of that notch. So it's all about knowing what kind of sound you're working with. In this case, it's a growling bass in massive. I might want to boost the 80 to 100 hertz.
Next thing you need to do is to compress it. And when I mean compress it, there are two techniques to this. It's called the double compression. The first one making things louder when it's soft. The second one is basically maintaining the bass so that you can have a good tail or sustain within your bass. So double compression is the next step after EQ. Let's have a look at this one. But first, okay, here's a pro tip. If you're gonna double compress your bass, take your time with the compressors, because you don't want to over compress or add too little differences in your compression.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load up a compressor. Let's just start with a very low threshold, a very low ratio, a faster attack and a slower release, and let's just hear how it sounds. I'm gonna just push the ratio up a little bit more of compression so that you can hear the difference. Let's push the threshold. You can put that a little bit louder because it's being compressed. So let's just put it at -4. The next thing that you want to add is to add another compressor. Note that the second compressor itself is basically making the bass sounding consistent so that you won't have any loss in audio. This time around, I'm just gonna make sure that the compression is very subtle. Just gonna make up a little bit to maybe 3.5 and then reduce the amount again. Increase the attack and probably increase the release so that you can have a more consistent compressed sound. Yeah, it's about right. You have the same levels, and the next thing you want to do is basically just adjust the levels in relation to your kicks. So let's have a listen one more time. You can hear now that the kick is sitting very well with the compressed bass.
If you guys want to know more about compressors, I might probably do it in the next video or something. Drop a comment down below and I'll help you guys with that. But yes, go slow on the compressors. I mean, this next step is a little bit optional, but to me I find it still very important because you're adding character and color to your bass. Now as you can see, I've changed my clothes to more colorful clothes. I think it grabbed your attention, right? Same thing with bass, you gotta add a bit of color to your bass. Come on guys. Now I don't mean like colors, but I mean like a little bit of like edge to your bass. So usually it comes with an effect plugin like a distortion or even an EQ saturation plugin. So let's have a look at this technique.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to open my mixer window, and for the sake of this tutorial I am just going to put in a stock plugin called the distortion plugin. Simple as that. Let's just turn on the level compensation. We can reduce the output. See, you can add a bit of drive or a bit of grit to it. Yeah, if you don't really like the tone, you can adjust it to be brighter or darker. Let's just go the whole spectrum of it being dark to bright. At the same time, I think the drive is too much, so I'm just going to reduce the drive. So the last step is to actually match the levels that your bass came before you even add a distortion, so you can do it to taste with your kicks in a mix. So let's have a adjustment towards the output knob over here. That's dope. That's dope. That's a really nice sounding bass.
Okay, this last one is basically to finesse your bass. Now, I usually use a ducking plugin like Flux Mini 2. If you have an LFO tool, you can use that as well, or Kickstarter. If I'm not mistaken, that's the plugin. Kickstarter, is it Kickstarter? Yeah, it's Kickstarter, I think. Yeah. This is the last tip that I'm going to give you guys so that you guys can apply it to your mixes, and your bass and your kicks will have a good relationship within the timeline itself. So
as you guys can see, I have the Flux Mini 2 loaded as my last effect in the chain. This is a setting that I have. It's called fake chain setting. Let me just add this Flux Mini 2 into the last chain for the bass. You can really feel the push and pull of the bass, which I think gives a little bit of edge to the character of the bass, and it's a good thing to use during your mixing, and if you want to add a little bit of arrangement differences within your mix. So obviously there's more that you can do to this. You can actually trigger the kicks into the Flux Mini 2. I'm not gonna run through the whole process of using this Flux Mini 2 because it takes a lot tweaking as per usual, and this is just for the sake of a tutorial.
Okay guys, I mean, if you guys don't want to use any ducking plugin, you guys can actually use side chaining in a normal compressor plugin straight out of Logic Pro. It's a little bit subtle in there, but it does make the difference when you're mixing bass together with your kicks. By the way guys, I do have a channel strip setting for your bass, what I've talked through in the past few minutes, and don't worry about it because the channel strip applies to Logic Pro X stock plugins. So you can just load it up in Logic and all the plugins will be set based on my parameters that I use. Of course, there are room for tweaks and improvements based on the sounds that you guys are using in your arrangement, but hey, it's free for download. It's a good start. Head over to my Ko-fi account and you guys can have it downloaded free on that platform. Link is in the description. And thank you for watching my video again on this channel at Vibe Synthetic. Remember to subscribe to my channel, hit that post notification bell button and smash that like button. By the way, thank you guys for 10 subscribers so far. 10 guys makes my day. 10 within the past 1 or 2 weeks I had 0 subscribers and I have 10 now. I love all 10 of you, and I love all that's gonna subscribe to my channel, whoever is gonna be here. So mwah. Also, you guys can follow me on my Instagram and Twitter at VibeSynthetic for more videos, B-rolls, and even tweets that talks about music production. So I hope to catch you guys on the next one. I am VibeSynthetic once again. Lovely to meet you guys. Till the next video, peace!